Hey everybody, welcome back to I Know a Guy. If you're new here, my name's Anthony. I'm a business profit advocate. On this show, we interview entrepreneurs, business owners, professionals, and just people doing cool things. For example, today we're meeting with Courtney Badger. She's a life and business coach who helps women live more nourished lives. How you doing today, Courtney?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I can't complain. It's right before the holiday, so I'm looking forward to all the food that's coming my way. So I'm pre-food coma, but it's
Oh,
coming.
yes.
So awesome, awesome. Where are you calling in from? Where are you at?
I'm in Denver, Colorado.
Okay. Are you a lifer? You been there forever? Or are you newer there?
No, newer. I've been lived here about 5 months so far. I was living in Charlotte for 8 years before this.
Okay. How you liking Denver so far?
I like it. We got snow today, so kind of nice to haven't lived in a place with snow in a long time, but I grew up on the West Coast, so nice to be closer to family.
Okay. Well, what do you like about Denver? I've never been there myself, but what are some of the fun things that you've kind of discovered since being there?
I like being closer to the mountains. I like that there's just like a really healthy culture and lifestyle here. There's a really big entrepreneur community. I like that it's sunny a lot and then we get 4 seasons.
Okay. Yeah. No, I do know that about the entrepreneur community. I can't remember what it was, but there was a big a startup. What was it? It's like a startup group out there where people come from all over to kind of go and meet other startups.
Yeah, they have startup week here in one in Boulder and one in Denver.
Yeah, that's awesome. I just heard about that for the first time this year, and I thought that was, it was really neat. So awesome. What can you tell us about what you do? You're helping women live more nourished lives. What does that mean?
I just noticed, like, in this culture of convenience and fast food and diet culture and just pulling people with every direction, hustle culture, working at jobs we don't love, that we're just really taught to live a surface level, disconnected from community, disconnected from our purpose, disconnected from ourselves, disconnected from our own bodies. And people are just walking around as zombies and unhealthy and unhappy and depressed and anxious, and they don't know why. And our culture really pushes us to go wider instead of deeper. And so we're living these really shallow, empty lives. And people who live shallow, empty lives don't have the ability to make change that they want to make. They don't have the ability to feel purposeful and feel just really in love with their life. And that was me. I came from corporate America and I had to disconnect from myself every day just to survive in corporate America. And then we wonder why we're such an unhealthy culture. And it's because we have no connection and no purpose to who we are or why we're meant to be here.
Okay. When you're meeting people, what's one of the things that you kind of focus on first? Is it mostly about diet, like what you're putting into your body, or kind of more of what you're thinking about yourself on a day-to-day, with your self-talk and all that kind of stuff?
So to me, nourishment is your food that you're putting in your body, the boundaries you have, the people you hang around with, how you talk to yourself, what you do on a daily basis, the relationships you're in, do you have hobbies? And are you striving for anything more? Even if you work a 9 to 5, like, do you have hobbies that you really love? Like, are you connected to anything that you really love in your life? But we are so masked with the things that we say to ourselves and the food that we put in our body that our brain is just completely hijacked by these things that we're addicted to that we don't even know how to become a nourished person.
Okay, and I got you. So you were kind of living this when you were in your corporate world, and then you decided, hey, enough is enough, figure it out for yourself, and now you're kind of want to help others. Is that kind of the cycle, or how did it get started?
Yeah, so I was in my corporate job and I knew I didn't want to do it anymore. And my business was actually pretty successful at the time. I was making around $30,000 a month. So I decided, okay, I don't need a job where I make less that I don't enjoy. And my business completely fell apart when I quit my job. And I realized like I was looking for everything outside of me to validate me, to make me feel safe. And so I started to feel internally safe and regulate my nervous system. And when I started to do that, I started to notice that I didn't feel good eating processed foods and I wasn't moving my body in the way I wanted. I didn't have the community that I wanted. And so it all started with internal safety. And then I noticed everything that I was doing was keeping me safe in a life that I didn't even want.
Okay. So you mostly focus on helping women.
Mhm.
What's your favorite thing about what you're doing?
Just seeing people have that light bulb moment of, wow, life could be different. Like, I don't have to be addicted to processed food. I don't have to watch mainstream media and believe the fear that we're fed to us. I don't have to to have someone else decide my future. Like I get to be who I want. And I love like the main thing that I help women do is find their voice. So find who they are, what they want to say, and a platform they want to create. And it's usually countercultural. And so they're really afraid to talk about it. Like a client I have right now, she left the Mormon church and she's been really scared to talk against leaving the Mormon church. And now she's like, no, I want to help people with, leave the church if that's how they feel called. And so it's like finding their thing that they're meant to talk about, but it's like in the middle of a like a resin case and they can't even get to it. And the resin's really hard to break away. But when you break away the outside layer, like the insides start to get a little softer and
Okay. And then your average client, is there, certain industries that they might be in or certain things that they might have a commonality with one another that are really good pain points to keep an eye out for?
I mean, mostly I'm helping people who want to build more of an online type lifestyle. So they want to be able to work remote and work from home and build a level of freedom so they can travel when they want, go where they want. They're usually a service provider. But I've helped anywhere from authors to online coaches to people who are MLMs to people who own ad agencies or digital marketing agencies, copywriting agencies, but it's mostly like an online type of person.
Okay. How about power partners? Who do you tend to synergize well with other industries or people that you can refer back and forth and help one another with?
Um, People who are really into like small businesses, mindset stuff, other entrepreneurs who are wanting to grow and they might help someone with maybe the social media part or the money part or different things where we're kind of all helping someone build a business together and they just have different parts of what they help people build a business with.
Okay. And so you talk about nourished lives and helping women, but how does somebody know if they aren't living a nourished life?
They feel really disconnected from their body. They struggle to lose weight. They often overeat so they don't have to feel. They don't know how to be present. They're really afraid to rest. They get a lot of anxiety when they rest, or they only scroll on their phone or watch Netflix, or they eat every time they rest. They don't have a social circle. They're afraid to speak up. They struggle with boundaries. They don't know how to put into the world like what they want to say. They're afraid of cancel culture and backlash.
Okay. So when somebody's looking at, making changes in that realm, a lot of it is it takes them a while before they finally come around to the idea that, yeah, I need to make a change. I need to, eat differently, for example. What's some advice that you might give somebody that's just starting to have an inkling that they might need to make some changes?
Pick one thing that you want to start with. Like it's really overwhelming because I believe having a nourished life is like tons of different things, but it's like what's something that you really want to tackle in your life and don't make it the hardest thing. Like if food is your hardest thing, don't start with food. But for me, the first place I started was just having stronger boundaries around people. And so cutting out toxic friendships, saying what I meant, saying if someone hurt my feelings, like just being really vocal in friendships. And it was really scary at first, especially because most people's biggest fear in life is the fear of abandonment. So we're willing to stay in these unhealthy relationships just so we don't get abandoned. But how can you start with saying, I'm going to stop abandoning myself in order to keep other people around? And ask yourself, what would that look like in my life? Like, do an inventory of your life where you feel empty and depleted.
Okay. Is there anything that I failed to ask or that you wanted to mention that I might not have gotten to?
Just really focus on going deeper instead of wider. Like we're such a culture that teaches people try new things, which is great, but like what is something that you love that you are so passionate about that you can really go deep in because that is where we can find so much fulfillment. Like even if you decide, oh, maybe I don't want to be an entrepreneur or but I just want something that gives me passion or just like decide what that thing is and learn more about it. Go do more of it and see how much joy it brings you and when you have things that in your life that bring you immense joy, it's so much easier to want to be present and to make the changes to your life that allow you to be a more present person because you have something you really want to be present for.
Okay. How can people get a hold of you if they're looking at this and want to have a conversation?
Yeah, they can check me out on my Instagram. My Instagram handle is XO Courtney Badger, or my Facebook link. I'm Courtney Badger on Facebook, and I share value there. I give tips. I have my offers on there. So those are the best places. And I also have a podcast that's about to release in January. And it's called Propaganda That Steals Your Power. And it's just all the lies that we've been told in society that are keeping you powerless.
Perfect. Well, I'll make sure to get all those links and everything in the description so people don't have to hunt for them or, worry about their spelling. That's me. So,
Yeah.
but if anybody out there'd like to get in touch with Courtney, absolutely reach out to her. If you're a little shy and you want an introduction, feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to make a three-way introduction for you. If anybody out there would like to be interviewed, feel free to reach out to me as well. I'll have my link tree in below Courtney's so that you can find all my links to reach out to me as well. But again, Courtney, I appreciate you coming on, taking your time here before the holiday.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. I don't know about you, but let's all get out there, maybe eat a little bit too much turkey and get to meet some new people. All right.
Perfect. Thank you so much. It was great.
My pleasure.